Do you know 30% of buyers get scammed in budget Toyota deals? Later ended up paying $4,000 for an engine rebuild by skipping just one simple check, because dealers and private sellers won't warn you. If they do, half their cars won't leave the lot. This is why, in this video, I'm breaking down a quick checklist that every smart Toyota buyer uses before paying up. Stick around because check number 9 alone will save you over $15,000. Check number 1: Vehicle History Report. The first thing you need to do before buying any used Toyota is run a vehicle history report. Don't just take the seller's word for it. Whether it's a friend, a stranger, or even a dealership, nobody tells the full story. That's why the VIN, Vehicle Identification Number, is your best friend. Punch it into a trusted site like Carfax, and you'll see the car's past unfold, costing you $50 only. If you plan on keeping your Toyota for years, this isn't the place to cut corners. Carfax may cost more than random inspection reports, but it gives you the most detailed records. Sellers might say, "Don't waste your money, I'll show you a report for free." But those free reports are usually the cheapest, least reliable ones out there. Fall for that trick, and you could end up driving home with a salvage title Toyota that looks fine on the outside but drains your wallet later. The smarter move? Always pay for your own report, and if possible, get one that comes with a buyback guarantee. That way, if the report misses a branded title, they'll refund you. Check number 2: Inspect the bodywork and frame. Before you even think about driving that used Toyota home, give the bodywork and chassis a close look. Start with the panel gaps, the space between the doors, hood, and fenders. On a Toyota that's been well cared for, those lines should be neat and even. If you see gaps that don't line up or panels that look shifted, that's often a red flag for accident damage. Even if the seller says, "Just a small fender bender," misaligned panels can mean deeper structural problems that affect safety and resale value. Next, step back and check the paint under good light. Toyota's factory paint jobs are high quality, and they match perfectly from panel to panel. But when a car has been resprayed after a crash, you'll often see a slight difference in color or shine. That's your clue that the vehicle had repairs. Sellers will downplay it, but mismatched paint usually means more has gone on than they're admitting. Finally, don't ignore small scratches or dents. If the paint has chipped down to bare metal, rust will follow, especially in states where road salt is common. Check number 3: Are the wheels and tires in good condition? Once you've looked over the bodywork, get down to eye level with the wheels and tires. Scratches on the rims, what people call curb rash, are pretty common, especially if the Toyota spent its life in a city. Light scuffs aren't a deal breaker, but if you see cracks, bends, or chunks missing, that wheel is unsafe and expensive to replace. The bigger concern is the tires. In the US, the legal minimum tread depth is 2/32 of an inch, about 1.6 millimeters. Anything less, and those tires are not only illegal, but also dangerous in wet weather. If the tread is getting close, factor in the cost of a new set, because good tires for a Toyota SUV or sedan can easily run $600 to $900. Next, look at the sidewalls. Cuts or bulges mean the car probably hit a pothole or curb hard, and that tire is a blowout waiting to happen. Also, check how the tread is wearing. A tire that's bald in the middle often means overinflation. Uneven wear across one side usually points to suspension or wheel alignment issues, which can eat through new tires and hurt fuel economy. Catching this early saves you money and keeps your Toyota safe on the road. If you made it this far, then consider liking this video, giving it a thumbs up, and subscribing to my channel. This helps me bring you more honest car advice. Check number 4: Engine oil level and condition. Next up, pop the hood and take a good look at the engine oil. Always do this with the car parked on level ground, and when the engine is cold, so you get an accurate reading. Pull out the dipstick, wipe it clean, then reinsert it and check where the oil level sits. If it's low, that's not just laziness. It's a sign the Toyota may have been poorly maintained. Low oil means extra engine wear, and over time, That can lead to costly repairs like timing chain or bearing damage. Now pay attention to the color. Fresh Toyota-approved oil should be a golden yellow. If the oil is very dark or black, it's a clue that oil changes have been skipped. A neglected oil change schedule is one of the fastest ways to shorten the life of a Toyota engine, even one famous for hitting 300,000 miles. Here's the biggest red flag. Unscrew the oil cap and look underneath. If you see a creamy mayonnaise-like sludge, that usually means coolant is mixing with the oil. In other words, a blown head gasket. On a Toyota, that's a multi-thousand-dollar repair, and the smart move is to walk away from that car immediately. Check number 5. Watch for battery and starting issues. A weak or faulty battery is one of the most common problems you'll run into with used Toyotas, and it's something you can spot quickly. When you start the car, pay attention to how the engine cranks. If it struggles to turn over or the starter motor sounds weaker than usual, the battery may be on its last legs. Another clue is the lights. If the headlights or dash lights dim noticeably during ignition, that's a classic battery problem. Here's a trick many buyers miss. Look at the temperature gauge before the test drive. It should be sitting at a cold start when you first start the engine. If the seller has already warmed up the car, ask why. Sometimes sellers do this to hide cold start issues, which can point to bigger engine or fuel system problems. Once the Toyota is running, keep an eye on the thermostat gauge. A healthy one should stay right around the halfway mark. Overheating at idle or while driving is a big red flag for cooling system issues. If the car won't start at all without a jump, it might just need a new battery, but it could also mean the charging system isn't working, something that's a lot more expensive than a $150 battery swap. Check number 6. Look at the exhaust smoke. When checking a used Toyota, don't ignore the tailpipe. It can tell you a lot about the engine's health. A little fine white vapor at startup is totally normal, especially on a cold morning. That's just condensation burning off. But once the engine is warm, the exhaust should be nearly invisible. If you see thick smoke, it's time to pay attention. Black smoke means the engine is burning too much fuel. On Toyotas, this could be caused by bad fuel injectors, a clogged air filter, or faulty sensors like the MAF sensor. Not only does this kill fuel economy, but it can also damage the catalytic converter, an expensive fix that can run $1,500 or more. Blue smoke is even worse. That usually means the engine is burning oil, which often happens when seals or gaskets are leaking oil into the combustion chamber. On a Toyota, that can point to worn piston rings or valve seals, repairs that easily cost thousands. So, a Toyota with thick black or blue exhaust smoke isn't worth the risk. Even if it drives fine now, those repairs will come sooner than you think. Walk away and save your cash for a cleaner running option. Check number 7. Verify the mileage. Mileage is one of the first numbers buyers look at, but you need to make sure it's real. In the US, rolling back odometers is illegal, but it still happens, especially on high-demand cars like Toyota Camrys, Corollas, Tacomas, and Highlanders. Always compare the mileage on the dash with the records from Carfax or Toyota's own service history. If the numbers don't line up, that's a huge red flag. As a rule of thumb, the average American drives about 12,000 to 15,000 miles a year. So if you see a 10-year-old Toyota with just 30,000 miles, it's either been barely used or someone's hiding the truth. Don't be fooled by numbers that look too good to be true. That said, higher mileage isn't always a deal breaker with Toyotas. A Camry or RAV4 with 150,000 miles and solid service records can still have plenty of life left. In fact, these cars are known for crossing 300,000 miles when properly maintained. If you're unsure, check the interior. Worn-out seats, faded buttons, or a shiny steering wheel don't match a low mileage claim. Trust the condition, not just the odometer. Check number 8. Interior and electronics. Once you're done checking the outside, take your time inside the Toyota. Start with the simple things. Do the horn and headlights work? Then move on to the electrics. Test the air conditioning to make sure it blows cold. If you notice a funky old sock smell when the AC kicks on, that usually means mold or bacteria have built up in the system. Fixing that can run a few $100s, so it's worth noting. Next, check any extras the car has. Heated seats, heated windshield, and all power windows. Roll each window up and down, and if there's a sunroof, test it too. A sticky window motor or a leaking sunroof can add unnecessary repair costs. Now, look at the upholstery. Tears, cigarette burns, or heavy staining are all signs the car wasn't cared for. With Toyotas, most interiors hold up well, so if you see major damage, it raises questions about overall maintenance. Don't forget to sniff the air. Any damp or musty smell could mean water is leaking in through the seals. Finally, pop the trunk and lift the floor. A Toyota should come with either a space-saver spare and jack or an inflation kit. If they're missing, ask why. It could mean the car had tire issues or wasn't properly prepared for sale. Check number 9. Always take a proper test drive. No matter how clean a used Toyota looks, you'll never know the truth until you drive it. A test drive is your chance to uncover the problems a seller hopes you won't notice. Pay attention to the ride. Even basic Toyota models, like the Corolla or Camry, should handle bumps smoothly. If the cabin shakes, or you hear knocking or crunching sounds, the suspension may be worn. Fixing struts and bushings isn't cheap, so don't ignore it. Next, test the clutch if it's a manual. Slipping, juddering, or a pedal that grabs way at the top all mean one thing. The clutch is heading for replacement, and that's a $1,000 job. On a flat road, see if the car pulls to one side. That usually means poor alignment or even frame issues. At slow speeds, crank the wheel fully left and right. If you hear whining, the power steering pump may be on its last leg. Listen closely to acceleration. Knocking or tapping could be premature engine wear or even a corroded exhaust leaking gases. When braking, if the pedal shakes or the steering wheel vibrates, you're looking at warped brake rotors. And finally, check the parking brake. Whether it's a manual lever or Toyota's electronic version, it should hold steady on a hill. Skipping a test drive is like buying a house without walking inside first. This step alone could save you thousands in repairs, and make sure you get the reliable Toyota you're paying for. If you found this video helpful, then be sure to watch this video next where I'm explaining why you should only buy used Toyotas.